I mean, if you're going to sell something, a place for enjoyment, why would you call it purgatory?
I don't know. I wasn't involved in the naming.
Hey, Craig, let's get into some coffee talk.
Hey, I love it. I love doing some coffee talk.
Well, talk about what?
Dogs, daughters, whatever. It's coffee talk.
Coffee talk.
The world feel crazy. Post 2020. These two dudes bring the heat. The best part of waking up are these two dudes in your cup. Drink it down. That's right. Swallow it.
Swallow that down.
Is that a good intro? That's a live intro.
Oh, man.
That's a live intro.
Live
intro. That was not pre-recorded.
No, that's not even a live read. That was like a live pantomime. Is it impromptu?
I don't know.
What is that called when you go to the drama class and they say, we're going to do, maybe it is impromptu.
But I will say this,
Yeah.
is that we are obviously seasoned professionals at this point because that was fire.
Yeah, I'm hoping the audio
That was
on that,
amazing.
that the levels are consistent because the music sounded very loud, at least in my ear hole. How loud was it over there?
You and your levels. My hole feels good. Let's dive in. Craig, you have something for me.
Oh, I do. Oh, I thought you had something, and then okay. Well, let me pull it up.
That's what you said.
Yep, I'm gonna make everybody uncomfortable. No, I don't know. This came in the Insurance Journal today.
Okay.
Yeah, reading some the industry fish wrap here, if you will. Look at this. Insuring. Well, there's another podcast called the Insuring Cannabis Podcast. I don't know how many episodes you could have on that thing, but I'm sure it's very interesting.
It's just a lot of giggling.
Yeah. You hear a lighter noise, and then it's
right.
Okay.
Then giggling, and then
giggling, and then they're like, "Who has the donuts? Did you bring the donuts?"
Dude, are we recording?
I got Cheetos. Yeah. So what's interesting though is I was reading this thing here. Plaintiff attorneys. So our favorite peeps, the attorneys, they're trolling for cases involving injuries allegedly caused as a result of somebody under the influence of the cannabis.
And
they're seeing
those lawyers are always trolling.
Right. It's like their shiny object syndrome is the new big kind of case to file stuff for. Their new blue ocean, right? But it's interesting. Yeah, this is according to Michael Sampson, not O.J. Simpson, but Michael Sampson, an insurance attorney who represents a number of businesses in the cannabis space. He and Jody Green, no pun intended.
What's up, Jody?
Jody Green. No pun.
See what you did there, Mr. Craig.
An insurance coverage expert who represents carriers joined us on the latest. So she apparently, he and Jody, he or she, were green, and they were on this podcast. So offering opposing viewpoints. I think it's interesting, though, that I know that it's over there in highfalutin California. The weed's been legal for a long time out there. It's this year became legal here fully, which is interesting. Now you can walk down the street and you smell it. It's just weird that, I don't know. It's just weird. But at the end of the day, now there's a market, right? A market to create lawsuits because there's people legally engaged in this thing.
Right.
Yeah.
It is crazy. So do you feel after reading that you have a higher understanding of the situation?
I'll tell you this. I munched it up. I munched up the whole article.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So you might have got lost in the weeds a bit.
Yeah, I did. I'm just not as quick as you.
I wrote him down.
You ding dong. That's not fair.
I cheated. Well, you were talking. So
yeah. Yeah, and I know that there's insurers that specialize in this now. Carriers.
Dude, yes. And
huge
there
market.
Are a lot of people making some good kizash.
Yeah.
on this.
So in Arizona, I think that there's a very set number of licenses to own this kind of business.
Mm-hmm.
I know it's under 200. It may be under 100, but it's a very small number, right? For a state that has 15 million people or whatever it is, 20 million, who knows? My numbers are just sort of all over the place right now, but they're very rough numbers. However, Mr. Jason.
However, it doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter. What's interesting is to obtain one of these licenses, to own one, they're selling for $5 million. $5 million.
Because they can make it.
Oh, I would guess that. I mean, so there's a number of them in Tucson. If you see them from the street, there's a line out the door. Every time I have driven down a street that has that, I look over, there's a line down this thing, and there's traffic all around. It's crazy. It's the drug dealer's house, but it's legal.
Do you think that the unemployment rate and everything else has something to do with that? That perhaps with all the stimulus checks that are going out, do you think that perhaps, okay, I don't know.
I mean, there's so many variables in that, right? I mean, sure.
Yes.
There's probably some high amount of people who are on unemployment and also involved in that, perhaps. But I don't know if it's causal or if there's a true correlation.
I think you would have to get a lot of data points, like has fast food sales gone up, right?
Ooh.
How about the local 7-Elevens, right?
How about
the
Girl
midnight
Scout
snack?
cookies?
Oh, so good.
So I went to Colorado. My wife and I went skiing up in Purgatory. And in Durango, which is about a half hour away, that's where you go. You fly to Durango and then you drive up. But in Durango, we went to go have lunch, and next to it was a cannabis place, right? Selling the cannabis. And out in front of the cannabis store was the Girl Scouts selling Girl Scout cookies. I swear to God.
Really? Dude, she was probably raking it in.
Raking it in. There wasn't a line at that store. I think that there's quite a few more in Colorado than there are in Arizona. So,
did you say Purgatory?
Purgatory. That's the name of the resort or the ski place.
I mean, if you're going to sell something that's supposed to be a place for enjoyment, why would you call it Purgatory?
I don't know. I wasn't involved in the naming of the resort. I mean, it's better than the Nike Dewey Cheatham and Howe Stadium.
Huh. Interesting.
Yeah.
Well, I think that's
I don't know. I mean,
talk.
I hope it was helpful. It's very interesting, though, that this is now a mainstream thing. And if you picked up the most recent Insurance Journal, or you got that email, now I timed this thing. Some other interesting things. Study shows cannabis consumers are successful, motivated, and health conscious.
Wait. Did I hear motivated in there?
Yeah, interesting. And guess who weighed in? Guess who weighed in on that?
Who?
Snoop Dogg.
Weed?
Snoop Dogg.
Oh.
Yeah, he weighed in on it. Study of 5,000 adult cannabis consumers from U.S. and Canada shows that contrary to the outdated Dazed and Confused depiction, today's cannabis consumers are successful, motivated, and health-conscious people, according to a Forbes article.
So they're just constantly fighting the urge to do nothing, take naps, fighting the urge to snack. It sounds like a battle.
Well, nobody said it's easy out there.
I guess not. That would be a tough one.
Yeah.
But I guess that's what you take the weed for, right?
It's a slippery slope, Jason.
Next thing you know, you're taking ayahuasca.
Yeah. Then what?
I don't know. Then the cows come home, I guess. But let's say this.
Yeah.
That was a coffee talk.
It's a coffee talk. Now that you're so enthralled by this captivating conversation, I'd like you to do me a favor and whip out your phone.
I was going to say whip it out. That's so funny.
Yeah, whip out the phone like this and then put it in front of you and hit subscribe.
Hit subscribe. Ding!
If you want to get all Indiana Jones on that, put it across the room and whip subscribe.
And I will say this. Craig has buttons down below to make sound effects and has not used it once in this interview, but prior to this, yes, he had hit the buttons quite a few times. I find that interesting.
Didn't we use it at the beginning to do the intro.
Oh, that's right. The intro. That was a good intro, too.
It was pretty good. It was good. So, again, don't forget to log on to the YouTubes and also hit subscribe, because you'll see something on the YouTube if you watch this episode on YouTube that you have not seen on any other episode. And this is close to the 400th episode.
Smart.
Yep. You've already said too much. That was a coffee talk. That was a coffee talk.
That's a coffee talk.
It's a coffee talk. It's a coffee talk.
Coffee talk. Coffee talk.
Hey, Jason.
Yes, Mr. Craig.
That was another awesome episode, wasn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Well, if people want to get a little bit more action and learn how to do write 100,000 in premium
Yes.
off of even the worst internet leads, where could they go?
They can go to live.teledudes.com.
Ooh, that sounds exciting. Are we going to be there?
Yes, it's a weekly call that we're doing right now it's live, and it will show you the process. The entire process is super awesome.
I love it. Let's do it.
Let's do it. Sign up right now, live.teledudes.com.
Live.teledudes.com. That's live.teledudes.com.
Hey, Craig, there's a new community that we are starting that I cannot wait to tell everybody about. It is our live texting community where you and I are going to answer people's questions and give them free content, right?
Are you kidding me? We get
Yep.
to talk to them?
Yeah, which is awesome, but they have to opt in. They have to text us at 520-214-2219. That's 520-214-2219.
Nice. I'm
Craig, are you going to respond to these texts?
I'm going to respond to them for sure. Live.
I'm into it too. It's going to be
Well-
awesome. And it's going to be our new texting community where we're going to get back to everybody that we can and drop some crazy content, free content, and free the calculator that you just came up with. That's right. The calling calculator, sales material. I mean, everything for insurance agents. This is it. It's the best texting community out there for insurance agents.
Well, what the heck is that number again? I can't remember it.
It's 520-214-2219. That's
Okay.
520-214-2219.
I love it. I'm going to text it right now.
520-214-2219.
All right. I'll see you later, Mr. Jason.
Bye, Mr. Craig.
Wait, do they even listen to this on the radio anymore?
I love it. I love it.
Nice.
All right.